for July 21st, 2021 is now called to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Before we get started, I would like to make a motion to appoint Ms. Janice Kane to the position of temporary board secretary for the purpose of recording tonight's meeting. Second. No. Any questions? All right, here we go. Ms. Kane, may we have the roll call, please?
Nicole Bible. Here. Janice Kane, present. Catherine Cololo.
Here.
Tori Dawn Flanagan.
Here.
Sandra Gill. Here. Stephanie Mason.
Here.
Tina Price Jeans.
Here.
Ezra Lowe.
Here.
Larita Stewart.
Here. Dr. Woods, may we have the superintendent's report?
Yes. First, I just wanted to thank the board again for this tremendous opportunity. I had a chance to walk the facilities in the high school and in the elementary school, had some very good conversations with some of our directors as far as the status of our district, and even met with the business manager, acting business manager, to look at how we're stabilizing our budget. And I just wanted to say I was thoroughly impressed with all departments that I had the interaction with. I'm very excited about the future and where this district is going. So I want to thank the board, and I want to thank the community for supporting us. With that being said, tonight's presentation is from Ms. Lillian Pontus on A League of Their Own. You want to approach the podium?
Is the mic working or not? I can be loud
I
enough.
think it's working. I see a red light on it.
Oh yeah, I can hear it's working. Hi, members of the production team and the staging team took a great time this past week to take a look at Morrell Field and the surrounding areas. We've gotten an estimate from the electrician that you guys utilize, Turney Electric, an estimate on best case scenario and worst case scenario to fix up the lighting. We have some of our set constructors talking about redoing all of the bleachers, painting the exterior fences, if not replacing the exterior fences. Pat Collins and myself did a walkabout, and we were able to determine what should stay. Structurally, some trees that, overgrown trees that are on the backside, the outside of the stadium that we may take down, including those basketball nets back there. That's all subject to change if there's anyone who has opposition to that. At this point, I also have some paperwork that I know Pat wants to present, but I wanted to be sure there weren't any additional questions from anyone today before we consider moving on this.
In regards to the basketball hoops, if there is any way to salvage them, it would be a good idea, because the kids do utilize those hoops.
Say that again.
We also had some questions. We're unable to determine from a number of sources on any information that you guys have on the last time any upgrades were done there. I know the first 3 or 4 rows of the bleachers were rejuvenated 7, 8 years ago. If there's any paperwork on the expense of that, or if there's any information on any infrastructure work that's been done maybe in the last 10 or 12 years, we would welcome that. It'll help us in deciding and being able to determine how creative we can be there in changing that space.
The business manager should be able to get that for you. It's probably like 5 or 6 years ago that they started the lower tiers of replacing the benches.
Right.
But she probably would have information on that
I'm
for
sorry,
you.
who was that?
Debbie Engelman.
Okay.
She's the acting business manager right now. I know that Dr. Carbone was having conversations, I was just telling Dr. Woods that, with the Army Corps of Engineers, because that's originally who built that stadium.
Okay.
So I don't know if there's any information that you guys may be able to obtain from there.
Excuse me. You're doing your talking on the inside of the Baker Memorial Field. What about that, drive, craters? The street? Well,
That's-
not the street, but you know what I'm talking about.
The alleyway or the,
No, not that way, but,
like,
when you
parking
drive up
lot.
in, when you come to the park and come up around it, and go into the field.
right, are you talking around the third baseline or the?
Yes,
Yeah, on the
Okay.
back end.
Have you, would they be able to do anything with that also?
I believe they may have to stage some of the trucks and some of the equipment there. You're talking about renovating it?
Just the road that leads right there into the field, into the, park.
When you
I
come
believe at
around
this
the
point they
bend-
haven't looked at that, but that doesn't mean it isn't something that may happen in the future. I'll make a note of it.
Especially if it's raining, because once you come up around that bend, there's a big dip that comes down in there,
Yeah.
and it turns into a mud hole, so.
Okay, there's a hidden, we were calling it a hidden cove that's back there, that they thought they may very well be able to stage something back there. For example, one of the suggestions they made was the toilet trailers. I don't know how many people had an opportunity to hear me talk about the toilet trailers, but over in Ambridge, there are these remarkable trailers that are fitted with 2 or 4 vanities and commodes that are frankly nicer than one of the bathrooms that's in my home here. They actually plug into electricity and they would have air conditioning in there, lighting. They're pretty remarkable. They were thinking of staging something like that back there and dropping electricity from one of our poles to be able to feed back there, because it is hidden. Today, they also mentioned to me that we need to find a location for 2 or 3 of the players on the team to find a hidden place to practice, and that cove might be available or considered for that. And then they would definitely have to spend some time working on that third baseline and the little area heading back there. That's still to be determined.
So did you actually go on the field
Yes.
and you walked the whole field? So
Sure
I'm sure
did.
some work would need to be done to the field.
Yes. That's one of the things Pat even asked us to make sure we got an idea about. In our paperwork, we have listed what we would do to the lights, what we propose to do with the fencing, what we propose to do with the bleachers, and the surrounding area. The field is the last issue. I believe what they'll do is try and match the look of the field from 1945 to 48, where they would bring some sand or they'd actually have some dirt and cover that inner field for you. And then obviously position the 4 home plate, first, second, third, and the pitching mound accordingly.
Any other questions?
Oh, I'm sorry, too. So I know you said you're a little behind, so you need it as soon as possible. And would you want full use of the field without, because sometimes some of our kids use it for practices and things.
Right.
So you would need full use of the field.
At this point, they don't believe they would have to displace any of the kids, even those who might be practicing, the cheerleaders, for example, during the time that they're renovating the bleachers and the stands. The understanding is that they would probably have to displace for a window of 4 days. 2 to set up, 1 for the actual recording and filming day, and then 1 for taking down. I also want to share with you, I believe we had originally estimated approximately September 2nd, with 2 days before the actual filming day, and then a day behind that. That may very well be moved up as early as August 13th or the 31st. Those are 2 dates that we know the lead actresses and the director are available to be here. That is still, I apologize that that's still fluid, we're not sure about that.
Those 2 dates again, I'm sorry.
August 13th, August 31st, and September 2nd is still in the consideration.
So you don't need it from now through October?
Correct.
Just
Correct.
for a few.
Right, and as soon as they lock down that date, we'll let you guys know. Again, we want to emphasize that if they're cheerleaders or if there's a 7-on-7 team, that has to be displaced and won't be allowed to be in that area. They are very comfortable making a contribution to that group because they're displaced, as well as helping them logistically get to another location.
Any other questions? Go ahead.
When is the audition?
What's that?
When is the audition?
When are the auditions? I have to tell you, there will be some extras cast. I understand there may be a time, and I don't know if it's this shoot or if they would come back later on for another episode that's being written where they will have to put people in those stands and dress them like they were in 1945. Yeah, and cheer them on. There'll be extras, and trust me, if and when that happens, they'll open that opportunity up to people that are local. I must share with you, having done this for a long time, sometimes it's a matter of appearance. If the main character, for example, I know one of the main characters is described as being slight in stature, but a tough ball player. And if they cast someone who is small, they'll intentionally try and cast other teammates who are significantly taller than the average woman. So when they record that segment and that episode, she'll look even tinier. There may very well be room for some bigger people too, though, right? If you throw lefty and they're looking for a lefty, if there's somebody that's going to stand up in the stands and yell to a player or to an ump, they would audition somebody for a speaking part as opposed to an extra. We'll get you that information as soon as that's possible. They might even do an extra casting call publicly and bring 200, 300 people in and point. Sometimes it's a matter of shoes. Sometimes it's a matter of basic appearance. I tell the story about 6 or 7 years ago, we were casting a little boy for a Foodland commercial. You may very well have seen the Foodland commercial. They didn't care what he looked like. He needed to have skinny legs and knock knees because he was helping his mom carry groceries into the store, and he had 2 Foodland bags that were covering him from the waist up. So when they brought in 20 little 5-year-olds, they said, take a look at his legs, take a look at his knees, and then asked them to join us in another room. If they were afraid to leave their mom or their dad and come over with the group to audition, then we knew they probably weren't going to be comfortable working on the commercial. So they have little nuances on how they're able to figure out who they want to use and who they have to say no to.
So with approval tonight, how soon would they start working on the field?
If they're going to go with August 13th, you'll know by the end of the week when we're
Okay, so those were the dates that they would start doing the work of fixing up the field.
Well, if they're going to record, if they actually have to start taping on August 13th, they'd have to do the work significantly sooner than
Okay.
that, right?
Thank you.
And then, of course, you'd be the first ones to know, ASAP, and how much time they expect they would be taking.
Would this only be one shoot on one of those 3 days, or would they possibly come back to shoot more?
I think there's a great possibility that they'll come back. I know that's the case in the 6 different locations that are in Ambridge right now. One of the locations where I was last week, just to give you guys an idea, when you drive across the Aliquippa Ambridge Bridge and you make that first left-hand turn, there's the Corliss Funeral Home there. Well, they're utilizing the Corliss Funeral Home. They actually are renting the home so that the primary actors and actresses are in there for hair and makeup and costuming. The extras are in there too. They're renting their parking lot. But the next immediate left is a dead-end street that doesn't go all the way to Ohio River Boulevard. And they've taken 3 homes there and painted the front facade, put new front porches. The center home, they put a new back porch on and are utilizing that back yard as well as the one next door for a lot of scenes. When we arrived there, they took the original front door off and put a hot pink one there that is for the show. The last thing we did 3 days later was take that pink door off, store it, and put the original door back on. But that pink door is stored in the same block. They're renting somebody's garage to store those front doors, back doors, even some of the pots and so on. When we go back there in 3 weeks to shoot another day, the pink door goes back on. So there is a possibility they'll be here again. You bet.
You're talking about the alley, Okay, maybe you wanna put some new fencing right there, correct?
I think they'll analyze the fence. They will either paint what they already have or replace that chain link.
So that, the issue of the basketball court, what are you gonna use that with seeing what all that?
Well, the basketball court we're talking about is the one that's behind right field?
Right.
Yes. If they can't take those hoops down, and we understood they could, they have a couple of options. They bring in some trees, and they just plop the trees down so they look like they grew in front of those, and you wouldn't see them.
Now,
But
when you're shooting, do you have your own security and things that you bring in, or do you utilize the local police? How do you?
I know they have a security firm, but I know they'll also reach out for local people too. Yes, depending on the number that they'll need.
Any other questions? Any other questions?
I don't know if you have Pat on the agenda to speak about it, but I know he's got some specifics he wants to address.
There was just one thing that I wanted to add on there, and that would be my suggestion is to just have a conversation with the youth organization and let them know, the football organization, and let them know that until the shooting, if you guys approve the shooting of the movie or the TV show, that football lines would not be placed on the baseball field because that would detract and interfere with their filming of the softball TV show. So we need to hold off on painting any football lines on the field until they complete their shooting. So they can practice on the grass of the outfield, she said that won't interfere. But as far as placing lines, and the conversation should be had, I don't know what their schedule is. If they're gonna have any games that might, create a conflict, can adjustments be made?
They're gonna be starting within a week or two, they'll have scrimmages, and if they have home games, if we can't determine an exact date, that could be like half their season.
That's why I think a conversation should be had with that organization. I know they put in a request for use of facilities. I have not received a schedule. I think they were supposed to start practicing down there this past Monday, but right now they're practicing in alternate sites. I know one is Jesse Bell Walker Field. I'm not sure. I had a conversation last week with Mr. Mills, and he told me they're also utilizing another local field in town. To my knowledge, he's the president of the youth organization. I would suggest reaching out to him to have that conversation, to get that information. He would be the go-to person as far as I know.
They are using Jesse Bell Walker Park, but I think the little ones are still down here on Morel. The twerps are down here practicing.
They're at Lefty
Important to me is that the
They're at Lefty
cheerleaders
Steeple.
have been going to Morel.
Somebody's practicing
but none of
Morel.
the football
The
teams
cheerleaders.
That's it?
have been going to Morel.
It's the cheerleaders.
The cheerleaders are at the cheerleaders are at Morel Field, the twerps are at Lefty Steeple, and then the other two teams are at Jesse Bell
Jesse
Walker.
Bell Walker. But the cheerleaders, I'm sure we could make room up
They're
here
outside the
somewhere for
fence.
them.
Right.
Because it's not like they need to be on the field, but they could be up here somewhere, right?
They're on the outside the fence.
Okay.
Is there a printed schedule or a schedule at the school's website of when those home games are scheduled?
They're like a Pop Warner team, so it wouldn't be on the school.
Okay.
I will get the schedule and have the discussion to make sure we understand about the lines and the practice, and then, like, as you said, try to get an understanding of what the home games are, and then see what the conflict is, because I know we discussed that they would take care of any expenses that the organization would endure if they had to readjust schedules or home games. So, yeah, I'll have that for you by tomorrow, if not tonight.
In a conversation that Bill and I have had, she did say that her studio can make compensation to the youth league if they have to be relocated or whatever. So
That's
not
what he
that
just
that's
You know what you just
an
said?
answer, or solves everything, but it does help, I think. If they have to play one game away and they lose their concession money, the studio will compensate that for that loss. So at least they won't be losing completely.
And these two letters, do you see?
All the board members got those letters, it started in tonight's meeting.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, we're gonna go through our public comment. The Aliquippa Board of Directors welcomes residents of the school district and commends you for attending the meeting this evening. We also gladly invite your comments and questions. At this time, local residents who would like to address the board will be invited to approach the podium. You will need to state your name and your address. You may speak for up to 3 minutes. This public participation session is normally limited to about 30 minutes. Prior to adjournment, at the end of the meeting, residents will be offered another opportunity to pose questions on items that pertain to the school district. These comments will likewise be limited to 3 minutes. The board may respond immediately to general questions or comments if appropriate, but will often instruct the superintendent or the solicitor to do further research and report back to the board or to the residents. If you have specific questions, the board will try its best to respond either at the meeting or shortly thereafter. The board wants to ensure that it is fully informed before responding, so if your questions are not addressed immediately, this is not an indication of a lack of interest on the board's part. Finally, to protect the rights to privacy, the board cannot respond to complaints or comments about specific individuals, employees, or students in a public session. Once again, at this time, local residents who would like to address the board will be invited to approach the podium.
Hi, my name is Danielle Lindsay. I am the director for the Little Quips Cheerleaders.
Could you give us your address, please? Ms. Lindsay?
Home address, 1567 Tyler Street. Okay, so my purpose for coming here today is to get an understanding about a league of their own and how that would affect the cheerleaders, because we're using that outside of the field in order to do our practices. So that's my question.
Okay. All right, and as she just stated, will you be utilizing that area?
We will not, and even there'll be supervision while there are people working on the bleachers, for example, or the fencing. If there comes a day where they may have to paint that fencing rather than replace the wrought iron, we'll try and give you a heads up about that far enough in advance. I'm comfortable taking contact information from you so we can talk about it, especially when we get closer to the actual reporting day.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, let's talk about the agenda item. Solicitors report, anything to report?
I have no report.
All right, let's take a look at the agenda items. Recommendation to approve the meeting for the minutes of June 9th and June 16th, 2021.
I move.
A second.
Any questions on the motion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? All right. Approval of the financial.
Approval of financial reports. Motion to approve the following reports for June 2021. Treasury report, report of taxes collected, report of delinquent property tax collections, general fund financial statements, and cafeteria fund financial statements.
I'll move.
Second,
Who's second?
Gil.
Any questions on the motion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Yeah.
One opposed?
Yeah.
Okay, recommendation to approve the June and July disbursements for June and July 2021.
I'll move.
Second.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Oh, I have to, should I read it? No.
General fund, go ahead.
Okay. General fund disbursement in the amount of $167,545.61 for July 2021. General fund disbursements in the amount of $311,047.79 for July 2021. General fund ratification in the amount of $1,366,177.53 for June 2021. And cafeteria fund disbursements in the amount of $2,934.81 for July 2021.
I'll move. Second.
Any questions on the motion?
Yeah, on number 3, did we get a clear, understanding of what, that $1.3 million, what was allocated for? What was spent on? You know, because I remember we had it and we just said others. But I want to know, did we get a clear understanding of what that money was used for?
So that information would have been in the attachments? On board docs.
Take it on board, Doc.
Nicole, are you able to access those attachments?
Yeah, is it, John?
It's to
The
John.
ratification, you wanna know what the ratification? That would be
Yes.
this one. They might just let it to me, because I think it might have said.
I'm gonna just wait, because I really can't get a good view of that because it keeps switching around. So I'm not, I think we should table until I can get a clear understanding of what we have, what to spend this money on.
Are you questioning the other?
The others, what are the others? So I'm telling you that.
So you would know? You would know?
All right, there is no more other on here. Any other questions on the motion? There is no other. All right, we're gonna do a roll call.
Ms. Gill?
Yes.
Mrs. Bible?
Yes.
Mrs. Mason?
Yes.
Mrs. Price Jean?
Yes.
Mrs. Carlotta?
Yes.
Mrs. Kane, yes. Ms. Tori Durham Flanagan?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Lowe?
No,
Ms. Stewart?
Yes.
Okay.
May I make a comment on that last motion? Moving forward, I will make sure that the board has 100% understanding of where the funds are going and where they're flowing. I met with the business manager Monday. I can't say I went to a fine-tooth comb, but she did assure me that our budget was balanced. But as you stated, where is the money going? I'm gonna say that the business manager has been doing an excellent job of working from her other job and coming still assisting us. So moving forward from this point on, I will make sure not only do we got it up on the board docs, I'll bring the documents so that we can have them. Because we are being fiscally responsible. We want to make sure our money's going where it needs to be. So I will move forward. I will assure that that is taken care of moving
yeah,
forward.
okay, good, because I'm not gonna vote on something.
I understand.
So part of that too is, because everything's coming out of that general fund, and since we're using the state CSIU program, it doesn't print that out. So what she was doing for them was actually taking that out, copying it and pasting it to Excel, so that it was in a format that they could see those breakdowns.
Yeah, I will ensure that not only do we get that from acting business managers, but even moving forward.
Thank you.
Okay. Tax parcel purchases. Recommendation to approve the following tax parcel exonerating all prior taxes up to the 2021-2022 school year. Marcus Geiser to purchase 77 Griffin Street in the bid amount of $1,609. Tierra Moon to purchase 219 6th Avenue in the amount of $1,718. Garrett Wilcox and Shakayla Zyber to purchase 415 Sarah Street in the amount of $1,642. And Shannon Young to purchase 318 Spalding Street in the amount of $1,695.
I second.
Any questions on the motion?
Do we know, were these checked, like with Debbie only being here part-time, were these checked for them having any outstanding tax bills on other properties?
She didn't communicate that.
Okay, did you know anything about that?
Didn't know.
I would have to say yes, they were, because if not, they never put them on the agenda.
All right. Any other questions on the motion?
People trying to buy the property. Sorry.
All in favor?
So the question was.
All in favor? Opposed?
Okay. Recommendation to approve the renewal of the accounting and payroll software with CSIU for the 2021-2022 school year. Total cost is $11,394.
I move.
Second.
Any questions on the motion? Okay. All right, all in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Recommendation to approve the health and safety plan as presented in accordance with the guidelines issued by the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, Governor's Office, and the PA Department of Education and the Center for Disease Control. This approval herein shall incorporate into the health and safety plan all subsequent amendments to the aforementioned guidelines as based on the new medical data related to the coronavirus COVID-19.
Second.
All right, any questions on the motion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Recommendation to approve the day student education agreement with Glade Run Lutheran Services for the 2021-2022 school year.
I move.
Second.
Questions on the motion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Recommendation to approve the senior high school student to be permitted to participate in a Hopewell Area High School Marching Band for the 2021-2022 school year.
I move.
I'll second.
Any questions?
Yeah. Ms. Alexander, was there only one that wanted to participate?
Yes.
I agree.
So, do we,
Question,
That
is there
is,
participating, so that mean we don't have a
we gotta
band
get,
this
we
year?
gotta get it going to elementary, so it's.
So where do that leave our, band director or?
She wouldn't know.
So that we will continue to have music from elementary part, right?
Yes, one of our teachers has transitioned down to the elementary school.
did he talk about, having a drum line or something like that?
It was not communicated to me.
Okay.
Yes.
So are we having like a transfer from Hopewell to Aliquippa, like for any type of extracurricular activities?
I'm sorry.
You know how like when different schools they sponsor, so because we don't have a band, the student is going to Hopewell. So is there like activities that we need to offer for any student at Hopewell that they don't have? That makes sense. I beg your pardon?
Not at this time.
Okay.
Ms. Alexander, would I be able to talk to the band director about forming a drum line?
Any other questions? All right, all in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Recommendation to approve the combustion service and equipment CSNE agreement for Schneider Electric DDC PM agreement for all school buildings for the 2021-2022 school year.
I move.
Second. Any question? Any questions on the motion?
This is out of order. From here to here.
Okay. Any questions on the motion? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Recommendation to approve the agreement between the Aliquippa School District and the Commons for their planned equipment maintenance agreement for $1,850.96 beginning August 1st, 2021 through and including July 31st, 2022.
Second.
Who second?
Dawn Flanagan.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, any questions on the motion? Can you,
Cummins, they're the company that inspects our emergency generators. There's one at each building.
okay. Thank you. All right.
Sorry,
That's
yep,
okay.
my bad.
All in favor? Opposed? All right.
Recommendation to approve the Privacy Industry Council to put an early start playground on Aliquippa Elementary School property.
I move.
Second.
Any questions on this motion? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, go ahead.
All right, Little Quip cheerleader, recommendation to approve the Little Quip cheerleader use of Morrell Park Monday, July 12th through and including Thursday, August 28th, 2021, from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m.
I move.
Second.
In a second.
All right, any questions on the motion?
Yes. I mean,
Okay.
should we put a stipulation in there or
Or an
maybe
amendment.
word it? A pump is
Go ahead.
conflict with the other,
Yes.
Wait,
On the next three,
yes.
what?
It's conflict.
like
What we're
amended,
gonna be doing.
So as we know, there's a possibility of the use of that field for 4 days, as I understand it, 2 prep, 1 filming, and 1 takedown. So
They don't know exact
we
dates.
might want to add some language then to these motions. Let's say, subject to the execution of a location agreement with Mesquite Productions, Inc. So if we add that, then at least they'll be able to coordinate those days that they're using.
So it is subject to the execution, what?
Subject to the execution of the location agreement. Pull that out here.
This is just for the practices, though. Didn't they say that they want, it shouldn't
Well-
interfere with the outside of the fence?
But I
Yeah,
think
just
that's the
in,
next.
I mean, just in case, we're gonna do that for the next 3, just in case there's any issue. So that, subject to the execution of the agreement with Mesquite, MESQUITE Productions, Inc.
Okay. So let me just say it over.
Okay, so we would need a motion to amend that motion first.
Move to
Second.
amend, Yep.
Okay.
Wait, hold on.
All those in favor?
All in, go ahead, I'm sorry.
Go ahead. Wait, you're doing the amendment, go ahead.
Yeah, I move to amend.
Okay.
The
We have a second,
Okay,
Who second?
just a voice vote.
okay, all in favor? Opposed? All right,
Now we need a motion to approve that motion as amended.
I move to approve the motion as amended.
I second.
all in favor?
Okay, recommendation, that the Board of Education approve the Little Crips football use of Morrell Park Monday, July 19th through and including Saturday, October 30th, 2021. They will be responsible for any custodial and maintenance fees. A certificate of liability will be provided.
Now,
This is also subject.
Also.
yeah, now we'll also have motion to amend number 613 with the same language.
I move to
I
amend.
second.
6:13.
Get it on.
We have a second? Second, okay, just a voice vote then.
All right, all in favor? Opposed?
And now we'll need a motion to approve 613 as amended,
I move to append the amendment
as amended.
as amended.
And I second.
All right, and all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Same thing that happened to 614.
Okay.
Okay. Recommendation to approve the Tyler Youth Center to use the Morrell Park parking lot Tuesday and Thursday from July 13th to August 5th, 2021, and for a movie night to be determined in the late July or early August. Also, subject to the execution of location agreement with Mesquite.
I move.
Good job.
A second.
Any questions on the motion?
Wait, do we have to make a motion to amend that?
Motion to amend, yeah,
Okay.
motion to amend,
One at a time now, hold on.
In there already.
that's okay.
Motion to amend.
I make a motion to amend.
Yeah,
I second.
voice
All right,
vote.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Now we need a motion to amend 614 as amended.
I
Approve
motion to
614 as amended.
614 as amended.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, here we go. 6-1, all right, 615. I'm ready. All right,
Any questions?
there aren't any questions on, okay, any questions on the motion?
I do have a question because there's no times
Okay.
here. I do have a question because there's no times here. It's just says on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Oh, Tuesday and Thursday, yeah, they don't have a
Don't
time.
have time. Plus, the cheerleaders are there from July 12th to August 28th. And they want it from July 13th to August 5th. So they must be during the day maybe?
Probably won't.
It's probably in the evening.
Because even because they have cheerleading practice, the same dates, the dates.
Mm-hmm.
They usually at night jams outdoors.
Okay. Well, they're there to 7 o'clock.
Are you questioning the Tyler Youth?
Yeah.
I have contact information, I spoke with Ms. Patillo, I have her phone number, I can try to contact her and see. She did not give me a time, and they didn't have a date pinned down either, and that's why she just submitted the range of dates. And all they want to do is drive through their gate, their fence on their property, and be able to park on our property. They're gonna watch their movie on their property, but they need extra parking.
Oh,
So they just want to use our parking.
Oh, okay.
At night,
Okay, that's not.
At night?
that's at night.
I'm sorry?
at night,
I
I assume, would that pose a problem with the filming at all? Would that pose a problem with the filming of the movie?
I do not believe it would, no.
Okay,
Well, we amended that already anyway.
yeah.
This is 1,800, not 2,400.
How much, 13 or 1,800?
No,
Okay.
it's at nighttime.
Just say,
Yeah, why
Yeah,
don't we
they're
just,
after 7.
when they make the motion, who's gonna make the motion?
I will.
Because it's a movie.
Just say 1,800.
Yeah.
Do we require a certificate of liability insurance since they're gonna be using our property?
Yes.
Do we have that?
For the parking?
No.
If they're gonna have people on our property, if there's any type of damage, we should have a certificate of liability insurance.
But they're just gonna be parking the car. I'm just asking.
If they
Yeah,
would
but
be
somebody can still get hurt.
Fall and break their leg.
Right,
Well, then we maybe we need a table just until we get further understanding of it.
Yeah, but it'll be over by the time we have our next meeting. Could we,
You- What you can do is, you can call your agent tomorrow who handles the insurance, have them attached as a rider, additional defendant. There's usually a small cost to that, and maybe Tower Youth Center could reimburse you for that cost,
unless maybe they have.
unless they have their own. If they have their own, then they can add your property to their policy.
We don't have to put cheerleaders insurance liability. They need to have one as well.
Did the cheerleaders didn't submit one as well?
They have to put as well, yeah.
Do you have, does the office have a copy of?
They're not a district cheerleader.
I'll talk to you afterwards, you get my information.
Oh, yeah.
Did she send it to Dr. Ward?
All right, blueprint for liability too.
Yeah, we just need a copy.
Okay. Okay. All right, ready? Recommendation to approve the payment of $1,800 to Michael A. Hauser for a board consultant services for the month of May and June 2021 per.
Mine says different.
Do we
All
need
right,
to amend
okay,
that?
I know, but per invoice.
We're doing it now, so we don't have to amend it.
Right, and so the actual amount should be
The actual amount,
$1,800.
$1,800.
So we don't need a motion to amend it? Okay.
Can you finish, Madam President?
Yep, okay, I just did. I'll go again. Recommendation to approve the payment of $1,800 to Michael A. Hauser for board consultant services for the months of May and June 2021 per the invoice.
I move.
I second.
Any questions on the motion?
Yeah, why did you do that? Why did you
Because he
change
was
the
only,
amount?
because he was there for half of the month of May.
Okay, got it.
As opposed to the full month. All right, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? All right, recommendation to approve the payment of invoice for Germ Solutions for 3 air and surface pro air purifiers in the amount of $2,685.
Move.
I'll second.
Refresh my
Question?
memory, what is this?
Questions on the motion?
What is this?
I don't.
Are they gonna be in, is it a certain area, where is it, you know?
What is this?
It's my understanding that the air purifiers were already in place and are current, have already been used. I believe there's 3 of the devices. I think we were testing them out to see the effectiveness, but because they've been in use, we want to just compensate.
I thought they were free, it was no cost.
Yeah, I thought that they gave them to us to test out and try out. I
Yeah,
didn't
but-
know that they were billing us for this.
No, they said for free. And then if we decide that we will order more, he would take so much off.
So why we gotta pay for it?
Well, see, that's when, again, the ball was fumbled again. You know, we had for 4 months, it's going on 5 months. You know, so.
I
it
wasn't
don't
even
take
aware
that
that we
long.
had these.
No.
They did
said we
say
had
that they
them.
left
He
a
said he
couple
left
here
three.
to
Samples.
test out. They didn't say that they were gonna invoice us for
Check
those.
it. Can we table this?
So where to place that in the?
So they're asking for
Somebody
money.
makes a motion to
Yeah,
table.
they want us to
They
pay.
wanted to pay, like, I wasn't on any game.
So I'm gonna make a motion to
I can
table.
vote that down.
Yeah, we're not.
Vote it down.
Is there a second?
Second to what, what's going on?
So I'm making a motion to table.
Okay, perfect.
And who second?
Yes,
I agree, it's okay.
right.
All in favor?
All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
No,
Table.
Okay, personnel,
Recommendation,
here it is.
oh,
It's the
Pink sheet.
on the back. Recommendation to approve, a recommendation for approval of, do I have to read all? Am I reading all of this?
No.
As it's presented?
Do you generally read your personnel
We
item?
do,
Oh, okay,
we do.
okay.
Okay. It's a little different. Okay, I got it. Recommendation to approve postseason athletic director pay for 2020-2021 school year. Brandon Ladon, $1,125.
I move.
Second.
Are we doing it all separate, or are we doing one? Because it's,
Usually you do it all at once unless you want to pull off a specific item, which you
because
can
on the
do.
agenda, it says items is listed, so we
As
should only have to
listed.
do it once, right?
That's correct.
Okay.
So, you're done.
Okay, recommendation to approve the items as listed, personnel items as listed on the sheet
On the
of
pink sheet.
paper, the pink one as
Does
listed.
anybody have any
I-
question on any of the items? Any one of the items?
I just wanted to talk about the approval of the appointment of our elementary principal.
Okay, well, you can pull that off then.
No, I don't want to pull it off, I just want to read it to make sure that.
Oh, okay, sure, you can do that.
All right, so I'm just going to do that, okay, ladies and gents. The recommendation to approve the appointment of an elementary school principal at the Act 93 position, Dr. Robert Mott, effective July 1, 2021, at a salary of $80,000.
I move.
Second.
We're gonna go through all of it. We're just gonna go through all of it. Okay.
Okay.
Anything else?
Anybody else want to pull off any specific item? Seeing none, then we can have a motion to approve the pink sheets as listed.
I move.
I'll second.
You didn't want to do Mr. Guzzi's, too?
Yeah. I'm sorry. Recommendation to approve the appointment of Director of Special Education, which is an Act 93 position, Dr. Jason Guzzi, effective July 1, 2021, at a salary of $86,355. Okay, we don't need anybody to move, just a second, so we're there. Anything else? What about this last one, the
You want
approval?
to, why don't you read that
We
one?
do that.
just-
And the recommendation also is to approve the creation of the position of Director of Student Services or Director of Pupil Services, which is also an Act 93 position. All right? Now we can move. Anybody want to move?
Any questions?
Can I move?
Sir?
I second.
You will second. Any questions on the motion?
Wait.
You.
Tori second. No, Tori did.
No, let's do it. Second.
Y'all are confusing me, because I thought you
I
moved
second.
and Tori second.
I seconded.
All right. This has to be a roll call. Okay, this is gonna
Roll
be a
call vote, okay. Mrs. Bible?
Yes.
Mrs. Mason? Yes. Mrs. Price Tina Jean?
Yes.
Ms. Kalala?
Yes.
I want a
Mrs.
motion to
Kane?
approve
Yes.
this. And then I want a
Ms. Durham Flanagan?
Yes.
to approve the
Ms.
agreement.
Gill? Yes. Mr. Lowe?
Yes.
Ask
Mrs.
if
Stewart?
anybody has any comment on it.
Mrs.
Yes.
So you'll need to let anybody comment on it if they want, anybody in the public if they want to,
On this?
on both of those, because they weren't on the original agenda.
All right, and so, all right, I have two more agenda items, okay? So I need a motion to amend. Or
Yes.
just- I would
Motion
like
to amend
make-
the agenda
I would like to make a motion to amend the agenda.
to add and then read it.
Second.
Okay,
Motion to adjourn.
okay. I would like to add the motion to approve Roads Transit to use the Sheffield property to set up a recruiting tent beginning July 26, 2021 through August 31st, 2021, 2 to 3 days a week.
I
Is any-
move.
Well, okay, let's hold on. So we have to let the public comment since these weren't on the agenda originally. So does anybody in the audience wish to make any comment on that motion?
26th to August 23rd.
Seeing none.
3 days a week.
Well, thank you.
So let's, also, we're amending,
We also, I would like to make a motion to approve the agreement with Parent Square Incorporated in the amount of $5,000.
is any,
What is that?
That is, go ahead.
Ms. Alexander, could you please provide a little feedback on what Parent Square is and how, what the importance of it?
We've been thinking about communication from the Aliquippa Junior Senior High School, because currently we use our school where all calls go out. We might put something on the website and also on the Facebook page. But what we have found throughout the year is that when you send out a blast, some parents aren't answering because it could be associated with any school. And so I started to research different programs that do something for
subject
the
to,
Aliquippa junior senior
the
high,
execution of an
because the
agreement,
elementary
so we'll need
school
another
uses
motion.
dojo.
Okay.
So we did get a presentation, and the administrative team did go through the demo. I spoke with Dr. Mott, and it's a really nice program. It's one universal app. They will use it at the elementary school as well as at the high school. The parents can actually choose how they want to receive information. So if they never want to call, but they prefer email, the system is as sophisticated to either to send a text message. So it doesn't come all three ways, it comes by preference. One of the great things about this particular program is we can send blasts out, but they never make it to the parent. Once the parent signs up for Parent Square, they can alter their own phone number, so it's the correct one. And we will actually get a monthly report. If we send out a blast, it'll tell us what percentage of parents we actually reach and which ones were rejected so that they can update their number.
Sure.
They can also choose
When
the
the comments
language
are
in which
done,
they want to
we'll add
receive the
this also to it,
information
and
on their
anybody can
end.
comment on
If we
it.
send out a
Okay.
permission slip,
And then we'll
they
have-
can
We'll vote
electronically
on the
sign
motion
it
to
and
amend
send
if
it
it
back.
approves,
So it cuts down
then
on
we'll
all
vote
the
on each of these
paperwork
motions.
as well.
Okay.
It's good for the administrative team and the teachers, because if the teacher wants to reach out specifically to a parent, she can, specifically to her class. We can send things to only seventh grade, like seventh grade orientation wouldn't go K through 12. It would only go to the seventh grade because that's our audience. So it allows us to hone into the parents that we actually have to reach, which I think will be friendlier. Parents who are working during the day, who don't want to receive a call, all they have to do is look at a text message. This pertains to me.
Perfect.
Let me click it when I can. And I think it'll increase the communication district-wide.
So, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
So the report that tells you that it failed, is that like a report that we can give to administration to look at, to contact those parents to say, hey, we have bad information for you, so that we can get it updated?
Absolutely, we can actually pull the report.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
So Dr. Mott, are you no longer gonna use Dojo?
No, I mean, I talked to Ms. Alexander, we thought that instead of having two separate programs, it would be better to
Agreed.
have everyone on the same program.
Yes, that's great.
It's very similar
Yeah.
to Class Dojo, except for it has better features. I really liked it.
Yeah, and then when we send out information, they don't get it, and they receive it.
And our school app will still be accessible for grades, but it'll just be those two, but how we reach the parents will be the
Never
parents.
used this program, so I want to learn about it.
I move.
Second.
We haven't,
Okay, so no other public comment on this motion? So we have a final,
Thank
we have
you.
we have a final motion that we're going to add to the agenda. And this motion is a motion to approve a location agreement with Mesquite Productions, Inc., subject to the execution of the agreement. Does anybody in the audience have any comment on the Mesquite location agreement that you've heard discussed earlier this evening? Seeing no comment, we'll add that to the agenda. Now we need to vote on the motion to approve the addition of these items to the agenda.
I'm sorry.
I moved.
Oh, second.
all right, any questions on the motion? All
All in favor?
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Okay. Now we're going to do these individually since we've added them to the agenda.
Okay.
So the first one is the motion to approve Roads Transit to use the Sheffield property to set up a recruiting tent beginning July 26th through August 31st, 2 to 3 days a week.
I
Do we
move.
move? We have a second?
Second.
Any discussion on this motion? Give me a roll call.
All right, roll call.
Roll call. Mrs. Mason,
Yes.
Mrs. Price Jeans,
Yes.
Mrs. Kalalala,
Yes.
Mrs. Kane, abstain. Ms. Dory Flanagan,
Yes.
Durham Flanagan. Ms. Gill,
Yes.
Mrs. Bible,
Yes.
Mr. Lowe,
Yes.
Mrs. Stewart.
Yes.
Now we need to vote on the motion to approve the agreement with Parent Square, Inc. in the amount of $5,000, and we heard the discussion concerning that.
I moved.
Mrs. Bible
We had to
moved.
do it. I'll second.
Any questions on this motion? This is another roll.
All right, yeah.
Roll call.
You better get my
Mrs.
name
Price
right.
Jeans,
Yes.
Mrs. Colorado,
Yes.
Mrs. Kane, yes. Mrs. Durham Flanagan,
Yes.
Ms. Gill,
Yes.
Mrs. Bible,
Yes.
Mrs. Mason,
Yes.
Mr. Lowe,
Yes.
and Mrs. Stewart.
Yes.
And then our final motion for this evening would be the motion to approve the location agreement with Mesquite Productions, Inc., subject to the execution of the agreement.
Second.
Any questions on that motion?
Yeah, who would be her contact person? Like, who would she get in contact with here? Is she gonna deal with Pat or Dr. Woods, or how do you want that done? Dr. Woods?
Sure.
Sorry, Dr. Woods.
Any other questions on the motion?
Yeah. I've looked at, there's no other questions. I've looked at the agreements, pretty standard language for this type of a production. And so that we need to do some changes. I spoke to Mr. De Lucente today. We'll try to add some language to it based on our conversation this evening so that we get all those contingencies in place before we execute the agreement.
Okay. Any other questions? I think that's it.
That's it?
Okay, so let me just,
Wait, we have to vote on it. We didn't vote on that yet.
We didn't vote on the motion?
We were just asking.
all right, let's do a roll call. I'm sorry.
Okay. Ms. Colorado,
Yes.
Mrs. Kane, yes. Ms. Durham Flanagan,
Yes.
Ms. Gill,
Yes.
Mrs. Bible,
Yes.
Mrs. Mason,
Yes.
Mrs. Price Jeans,
Yes.
Mr. Lowe,
Yes.
Mrs. Stewart.
Yes. All right, do we want to hear from Dr. Mott?
When I was- You accept. Jack on.
I'll be, can you guys hear me? I'll be honest with you. I saw the personnel thing and then everyone pulled out pink sheets. That was a little nerve wracking. But I'd like to,
Not pink slips.
I'm excited for this position. I am. Really looking forward to it. And let me say this, I've worked at 3 different districts, one of my own, but the support here has been tremendous. It's been extremely motivating to want to do the right thing to help the school, you guys. I can't, the administration's been extremely easy to work with. I appreciate all their support, but thank you. I've been hired twice by you guys now, so that's never happened in my career, but pink slip kind of threw me off there for a second. So, but thank you. I'm looking forward to this, and if you guys need anything, you know how to contact me. So, thank you. I appreciate it.
I want to throw in real quick. I met with Dr. Mott very briefly today, and he's ready. He's rolling. He had his board up. He had the schedule up. We looked at the schedule. We made a couple little adjustments to help get some POC time. He had a 5-year success plan. It's my first time meeting him. I got to say I was impressed. So congratulations. I'm looking forward to working with you to help our district move forward.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Dr. Guzzi.
Dr. Guzzi.
Yes, yes.
It was.
Like to have us.
I said, should I go home and change? And she said no.
No.
She's absolutely right.
It's
She might
summer,
be in a
so I'm
little
gonna
bit
give
of
you a
trouble.
pass on this.
Well, thank you for the move to the new position. Everything is going very well this summer. This is gonna be my 4th year in Aliquippa. It takes about 3 years to really feel your feet. So I feel like I know this position well, I know the community better, and I'm excited about the 4th year. I'm really looking forward to it. Can't wait to have real live school and not a ton of online school. So thank you very much. I appreciate everything.
Thank
and
you.
As always, call me if you got questions.
I'm gonna make a motion to adjourn.
Do your audience recognition. Non-agenda items.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. At this time, we would have public comment on any non-agenda items.
None? Board member comments?
Any comments from the board members? Yes. You wanna go ahead? Mm-hmm.
Okay, I passed out a, back to school festival, out of the community. I originally spoke with Zion Gilbert on this and Tambo, so I'm just not aware of who all is throwing this or supporting. But they will need, it's on August the 7th, that's a Saturday, from 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. And they will need for the parents to call and make a, registration for the backpack. So they're gonna fill it up, elementary style and high school style. So, I don't know if I have any more left over there, flyers. This is part of our community engagement to interact with, the community when they're trying to do something to better our children and help out our children. Now, we will have a table up there, community engagement. We will have a table up there and, giving out information on what, who, what, where of community engagement and why it's needed through the education program. So, once again, it's back to school festival. When they sign up, make sure, because they have so many, you know what, Tina, are you aware of this? Could you explain more?
Yes. So they're looking to service about 1,000 kids with backpacks and the backpacks that are filled. There are several community organizations that are involved. You have Aliquippa Impact, you have Legends, you have the Franklin Center Beaver County, you have Uncommon Grounds. Probably the majority of which you can think of that are located within our community are involved within this. There would be several tables. They're also on here, if you go online, you have an opportunity to sign up if you have not received your vaccination. So Gateway Health will be there. So many different organizations and services will be there for our kids during that time. If you look on here, there was a time frame where it was for Aliquippa students, and then they're going to open it up to all students. So they're trying to service 1,000 kids. So make sure you go online and you register. There are still openings for volunteers because we're going to be packing bags on July 28th. And if you go on Eventbrite, you can sign up to be a volunteer and help us load up these book bags. Anything else you think of that you might want to do, we are open to whatever, whenever, however, just as long as we can make this a community collaboration.
Okay, and Mrs. Price Jeans, when is this event going to happen?
August 7th.
Saturday, August 7th?
From 12 p.m. to 5 p.m.
Okay, thank you.
It's going to be at the Hope Christian Community Center, which is the Sound Alarm parking lot, the big parking lot. And there's going to be a couple other things going on too that have not been finalized, where they're going to provide some services for the kids.
Okay, and also with the community engagement, I wanted to stress to the parents how important it is to get involved with the community engagement, because that's where your voice is heard. Like, this is our school district. If there's an issue or problem, that's where it should be heard. We don't want, negativity on social media when the truth, is not told correctly. So if you come to the community engagement meetings, you got a chance right there to speak up and speak out. Also, we wanna also do something, well, the community engagement would help also with our PTA. Oh. PTSA. Okay, with, Ms. Linda and as president, correct? Okay, so that would also help out with the, children, parent, teacher. So we want you parents to really, get involved so that we can make a difference and a change, because once we do what we do in school as far as educating your child, and they go home, it needs to continue there also. So, please, anyone that wants to join, we'll be meeting, give me a call, give me a holler.
Oh, I do have something I want to say. I just want to give a shout out to Karma Jackson, because the issue that we were having with the PBT cards for the parents going to the wrong addresses, Karma kind of took it on herself to kind of manage that and deal with parents and make sure that parents were getting the right kiddos cards and stuff.
Yay,
So good job.
Yay, karma.
All right, we'll make a motion to adjourn, or you have something else to
I
add?
just wanted to also recognize that we have Aliquippa Community Days on July 31st to August 1st at the legendary Miss Jessie Bell Walker Park. So please make sure that you come out to that. It's a good event. They have music, they have activities, they have vendors. I've been a part of that, well, been a guest at that for the last several years. If you're available, you're in town, please do so. Last comment, I just wanted to thank the board for working with this new agenda style. I know it was a little bit of adjustment. It will get smooth. I do believe it provides the transparency that we're trying to provide in the organization. And I just want to again, thank you, and thank you.
Okay, all right, I would like to make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Moved and seconded. You have something?